So, I'm going to be doing a review on the Buildable C-3PO. So, this set released in August of 2024 for a retail price of $140, and this has set number 75398, 1,138 pieces, an age rating of 18 plus, and one figure. So the figure is obviously a C-3PO, and it is a great figure. It's definitely the best C-3PO that we have gotten. He has a great print on his torso, excellent arm printing, which looks great, and fantastic leg printing, even with side printing, which is pretty rare. And definitely the most notable thing about the figure is the fact that he includes a dual molded leg for his silver leg, which I do really like. I think it looks very good. I do kind of wish it was done in silver instead of light gray, but still, I do appreciate how we still have a dual molded leg. And the figure does just include the normal C-3PO head, which is fine. It didn't really need to be special. And the figure does have a pretty good backprint. Now, before I talk about the main build, we do get a little display plaque, which looks very nice. We also get this 25th anniversary brick, but I currently cannot find mine. But the display plaque does look very nice. It has a great print with a bunch of information, like the class, creator, height, and a couple other stuff. And there is a render of the actual build, which looks very nice. And you can actually adjust it a bit. You can have it straight up, or you could put it back. I don't really know why you would do that, and plus, it can kind of snap off if you move it too much. But I would just recommend that you have it at a slight angle. And there is a little spot to put the C-3PO figure, which I do like. Now for the actual build. So the character is actually on this little sand platform with a nice black border going around it, which this whole thing does look very nice. I do like all of the sand detail, and the figure is actually built into the base, so you can't just easily take the character off, which makes sense because you would want this thing to be pretty sturdy. But the legs do look very nice. One thing I'm not a huge fan of about the build in general is how they put a couple dark tan bits to replicate some gold if they didn't. The legs do look very nice. One thing I'm not a huge fan of is how they put a couple tan bits across the build. I just don't think it looks that good. They mainly did that because they don't produce those pieces in pearl gold, but I don't know, I just feel like it's a bit distracting. On the side, there is actually a clip with a little ski pole piece. The silver leg is essentially the exact same as the other one, just with a different color scheme, that being gray and a bit of silver. And on the leg, they did actually include a couple silver bits, which I do like, and they aren't actually in the normal pearl silver. They're actually in the same silver that they use for lightsaber handles. And the whole figure does actually lean forward, then kind of back a bit, which is accurate. And this whole waist area does look very good. I do like all of the angles they were able to achieve. And the back does look pretty good. There is, of course, the classic exposed wiring, which looks pretty good, but all of this wiring detailing is just stickers. And they actually wrap around the side and to the back. And the back does look pretty good overall. And the chest does look very nice. They do have that little circular piece, which is accurate, and luckily, for all of the gold pieces with detailing, they all are printed, which is pretty nice. And both of those do look very nice. But one thing I noticed with the build is that some of the gold pieces are just a bit discolored, because I noticed that a couple of them have a bit more of an orange hue, like that shoulder piece, those pieces right there, and the round pieces on his head. I just find that a bit interesting. But the arms do look very nice. They do have a bit of posability, but not too much. All that you can do is just move them up and move the hand a bit. You cannot move the elbow because it is just one angled piece, which I mean is accurate. And they actually used the Harry Potter wand to replicate that little hydraulic going to his forearm. And overall, the arms were done very well, and there is even a silver ring going around. And you can move the hand a bit, mainly at the wrist, and you can pose the fingers just a bit, but not really that much. That's really all you can move with the fingers, just it's not that much posability. So I kind of wish you could do a bit more. And you cannot move his thumb whatsoever. And there is actually some detailing for his some exposed wiring on his palms, but that is also a sticker. And across the build, there are actually a couple of those more shiny gold pieces. And they are kind of in between the pearl gold and the chrome gold. But now let's finally get onto his head. So, the head, overall, I feel like looks pretty good, except I'm not a huge fan of his eyes. Just because, in universe, the eyes aren't really out like this, they more go in. And I mean, it's not that egregious, I just feel like it looks a bit weird. And they did actually use the Nexo Knight's shield with a little print for his mouth. And with the head, overall, does look pretty good. The slight discoloration between those curved parts and the normal pearl gold is a bit distracting. But it's not going to be that noticeable when you're far away. And you can actually turn the head just a bit. You can do a full 360, but that's essentially all the posability it has. And this is the back of the head. And if you want to display the set with a stand, then I would recommend that you put it kind of to the side, more like that. Because if you put it in the front, it does kind of cover up his feet. And that is essentially it. So, would I recommend that you pick up the set? I mean, yeah, probably. I would especially suggest it if you already have the R2D2, because both of the builds are essentially to scale with each other, which is great. But my main complaint with the set is that it does feel just a bit overpriced. I don't know, I feel like $140 is a bit too much to ask for. So I would mainly suggest for you to get the set if you can get it on sale. But overall, I would give the set about an 8 out of 10.